Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Jay the God, JTG.
We are literally counting down the days to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th anniversary. Back to the 80s. WrestleFest, Saturday, November the 13th, from the historic Memorial Hall right here in Melrose, Massachusetts. But we got a treat for you coming up. It is no trick, even though it's Halloween week. A brand new Wrestling Insider special edition is...
Jay the God.
No, you're supposed to say now, for Christ's sake.
Oh yeah, I forgot my
brand new Wrestling Insiders is
Take
now.
two.
He's got one line.
And I messed it
Stand
up.
by. Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary, back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to another Wrestling Insiders. Have you decided yet, fine sir, what you are going to be for Halloween this year?
I usually let my daughter decide. Yeah, because
She picks your costume.
yeah, I go off of what she does. One, if she's a witch, then I do something that accompanies her. You know what I'm saying? This year I think she wants to be a unicorn. So I don't know what can I do to.
You'd have to talk to Kofi, I guess.
Oh yeah.
See,
Let's get some
you
New
got
Day
an
gear.
in. Yeah. He's probably got some old stuff lying around. Well, I think you're a little thicker. You might have to see if Xavier's got something.
Yeah, we'll holla at Xavier. Yeah,
Kofi,
he's cool.
Yeah, Kofi's kind of...
On the thin side?
Yeah. We saw what happened at Money in the Bank. But trick or treat, happy Halloween to all you folks out there. It is one of my favorite holidays.
It was definitely my favorite holiday out of the whole year.
It's your favorite holiday?
Yes. Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving. In that order.
Well, Thanksgiving, I think, is a little... I don't get it. You know what I mean? You get to have a turkey and some vegetables. I mean, all right.
You can do that on Sunday.
You can do that any day. Yeah, exactly, right? If you like turkey, you can have it any time. But, John Cena Sr. and I enjoyed Spooky World. Not Spooky World. That's the Massachusetts festival. What's it called? Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios in Orlando. Have you ever been?
I live in Los Angeles, and I went to Hollywood Horror Nights a few years. I believe I went twice. I tried to go this year. It was closed in LA.
2020, right.
It was closed in LA, but I went to Orlando, and it was still closed. But I enjoyed Universal Studios anyway. But yes, this year I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of Halloween Horror Nights.
For my 40th birthday, that was what I wanted to do. And then coronavirus
ruined it.
Talk about a kick below the belt. But John Cena Sr., even at his not as young as us age, enjoys Universal Studios and Halloween Horror Nights quite a bit. He was down there with his femme fatale, not to be confused with his main squeeze, Marjo Ouellette from Ms. and Mrs. fame.
Okay. Does he go to the one in Orlando or he goes to the one in LA?
We went to the one in Orlando.
Okay.
Now, have you been to both? Or you haven't?
No, I've only been to the one in LA, yes.
Now, see, I'm going to have to go to LA next year and see what it's like with you.
I think, well, you do both, but I think Orlando will probably be better. It's always better.
I think it's bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger, definitely bigger.
So I know the park is.
Yes, so definitely got to be.
What I love, though, about the Universal Hollywood, again, to completely shy away from the topics of discussion, they gave us Batman, Mr. Ivar. When they won the tag team NXT titles from Undisputed Era, we went out for, it was TakeOver and then Royal Rumble out in Phoenix.
Yeah.
We had a friend that came out from California, so we went from Phoenix to LA, and I used to live part of the year down in Florida, so I'd never been to Universal in California, so we went, and they were so nice. As soon as I walked in, they said, "Oh, sir, come with us." I'm like, "What?
Ooh, special
What is
treatment
this all
already."
about?
Okay.
No, I thought I did something wrong, like I usually do. But no, they gave me this. It almost looked like a miniature golf scorecard, and because of my disability, I'd get to go. They put you through the express lane.
Ooh, you didn't have to pay for that?
No.
You know how much that is?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is very expensive.
Yes. Well, the gimmick is if it depends on the wait time. If it's longer than a half an hour, they give you time to come back and you can walk right in.
Okay.
Or if it's less, they just let you right in.
Okay.
If it's a nice person, they just let you right in. So I mean, we went through that park like
within probably like 2 hours.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the only thing is though, it was so much smaller compared to Florida.
Yes.
So with the pros come the cons.
Yes, it is.
And I have never been to Disneyland.
Never been to Disneyland
Never
yet?
been to Disneyland.
Well, you've been to Disney World.
Many times.
Okay, it's way bigger. Just know that.
Disneyland is bigger.
No, Disney World is way bigger, yeah.
oh.
So you're not really missing too
Orlando,
much.
it's almost like the Monday Night Wars they got going on with the theme parks. I guess SeaWorld is like ECW in the 90s version of things. I don't know.
They got rid of the damn Shamu. Why are people going to SeaWorld now for?
They still have whales because we went in right before Christmas last year and they had a show with whales.
But Shamu was the Hulk Hogan of the SeaWorld. Who's the Hulk Hogan now? Who's the main attraction?
To me, they all do the same spots. I don't know. They're whales.
They all drop leg drops.
They're whales. I don't know. But I'm like a big kid when it comes to stuff like that. My two favorite cities. I love Orlando. And then for me, like with the Cauliflower Alley Club, we have that wonderful backdrop behind the cameras of Sin City. Now, do you ever get to go out there where you're in LA?
I love Vegas.
Now,
I have a lot of fun in Vegas. But whatever happened there, I can't talk about it now.
What are your favorite spots in Vegas?
What's my favorite spot? What's that? Inferno. Disco Inferno. He works at at a strip club out there.
Does he?
He hooks the boys up.
Oh, well, Godfather, they had the Cheetah Club.
Oh, he still has it?
No.
Oh.
He retired from the business.
He retired from pimping? You can't retire from pimping. Pimping is in your blood.
I think he's still pimping.
Pimping is for life.
He's just not in official capacity.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
On paper, I guess, is
gotcha.
the best way to put it. But even our president, Dr. David Reese, she's trying to develop a property out there for the women called Reese's Pieces. So we'll have to.
Ooh, Reese's Pieces. I like that. That's pretty
We'll
clever.
have to wait and see how that comes to be. But now that's one of the reasons why I look forward to the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion every year. Not only, is it a great group that raises money for a great cause, but people say, how can you stand going to Vegas for more than a couple of days?
Yeah,
I go for a couple of weeks.
No, I can only do max 3 days.
Why is
Vegas. You get there on, let's say, Friday. You don't get any sleep. It's nonstop partying, drinking. Your body needs to get a nice reset. You need to recover from that.
Do you bring any of the goods with you?
I got to beat them off with a stick. Dan. They're sliding in DMs. They're banging on my door. What's that smell? Is that coming from room 316 or room 112?
Okay, Stone Cold.
Room 112.
Well, Annie, eat your heart out when JTG is in Las Vegas. But you know what? Where can you get that again?
shbeardcare.com. We cover beard and body. Walking around Vegas smelling like butterscotch. The ladies love it.
Well, you know what? I got Linda Moratti to smile at me when I tried it, so that was actually a big improvement. For Halloween, she said, you know what, I'm not doing much. I'm just going to go with my usual routine of the broomstick. And, she has that 365 days a year, unless it's leap year when she tosses an extra one. But that's a different story for a different time. We hope you all enjoy your Halloween trick-or-treating this weekend. You all stay safe because we want you all to be joining us in just a little over 2 weeks, Saturday night, November the 13th. But Halloween Horror Nights, I recommend it to anyone. It's huge, 12 haunted houses. Again, for John Cena Sr., it almost scared the piece off of him.
It did. It scared the crap out of me.
Tight glue.
Yeah, I try to be a badass in that park. You cannot be a badass during Halloween Horror Nights.
He said the only thing that came close was when Marjo Ouellette, Maurice's mother, got a little frisky with him and tried to pull.
Tug?
She forgot what was shoot and what was work on there with the moss, you know what I mean? So, and then she started tugging something else. But they're not going to put that on the reality show. All right, we were talking about Elijah Burke, OVW, and so much great stuff in our last episode. We kind of lost track, as we do in every episode. Who else, when you started training in OVW, when you were doing those hellacious bus rides from New York City to Louisville, who else was in your class at that point that people might remember?
Santino Marella.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes, we came up together. We both trained through RIP also.
And he's got to have a few years on us.
He's exactly 10 years older than me.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so I'm 36.
So he broke in really
late.
Yeah.
He was doing judo. Yeah, he was doing judo.
So he must have been around 30?
Yeah, around that time.
Okay.
And then who else came up with me? Elijah, Santino. Who else? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's plenty more. Oh, Serena Deebs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Serena Deebs. I remember when the first time she walked into OVW.
I thought she was actually, and again, I'm not the world's biggest women's wrestling fan, but I like good women's wrestling, and I think she's solid.
Oh, yeah, she's great, yeah.
Yeah, they did a good job
If Cornette
with her.
puts you over, you're good.
I didn't know he put her over.
Oh, he
but
put her
yeah,
over
she
big
is-
time, yeah.
She's good.
Yeah. Who else came through that's, we all know who came up with me in that school. If I think of any more, I'll let you know, but there's a few more, but I can't think of them
Yeah,
off
send
the
me a
top of my head.
postcard.
Yeah.
Not while we're on the air or anything. But then again, how many questions did I send you in advance to prepare for? It's why it's a shoot, baby. It's a shoot. You know, sometimes people say, "Oh, don't call it a shoot. That's so negative." Blah 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 blah. But to me, when you say shoot, it's just
Right from the
honest.
hip, right there, boom.
That's all.
Right off the top of the dome.
Shoot, you can have nice shoot interviews.
Yeah.
It's about honesty as opposed to me, there's a difference between a shoot interview, which is where you're talking
From the heart.
realistically
Yeah, yeah.
about life, and then there's, you know, the pro wrestling aspect of an interview,
you're trying
which
to
is
sell
more
something
towards
and, yeah.
what's going on inside the squared circle, so to
Yeah.
speak, in our lingo. But we do shoot from the hip. But did anyone impress you? I mean, were you impressed with someone like Elijah right away, or a Santino? Did they take to the business or the aspect of the in-ring?
I was definitely impressed by both of them. You know, Santino Marella was not even the Santino Marella that we know today. He was actually he was doing a Russian gimmick, and
Really?
he was a badass Russian, and he used his judo knowledge and he was squashing guys in OVW. And then one day he gets the call, and they said, "Can you do a Italian accent?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he said, "Say something in Italian." I think he said like "hello" or something. And he's like, "Okay, we need you for to be in Italy on this day for Monday Night Raw." So he had to, out of nowhere, he just dropped the Russian gimmick, and all of a sudden he was in Italian.
What was his name? Do you remember?
Boris Kozlov, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Boris. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of gave him that big, huge introduction. They brought him in out of the crowd to beat Umaga over in Italy. And then it was like he was just forgotten about for about 6 months. They did not really nothing.
He was the
with-
IC champion. Yeah.
Yeah, and they really did nothing with him or the Intercontinental title. It was strange.
I'm
It
glad
was
that
like they just like, you know what? Let's do something creative in Europe. Do we have anyone that's Italian in OVW?
Do you
and then they
think-
used them, and then they just. It's not like they even did anything bad with them. They just did nothing with them for a while.
you
Were
think-
you there for that? No, you weren't.
No,
there
no,
for
no, I
that.
wasn't there. We had just our first release. Shad and I just got released.
That's right.
Yes, we had
That's
just got
right.
released,
That's
yes.
right. But was a good guy.
Who,
John
Santino?
Cena Sr. speaks very highly of him.
Santino?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great guy. I stay in touch with him a lot. Yeah, yeah.
Segment one. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, me and him are still great friends. We stay in touch. Yeah, he just had his second son.
Really?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Jeez.
Doing
Still
good.
pumping them out.
And he
Wow.
has his Battle Arts Academy out in Canada.
And that's a combination of things, right?
Yeah, he does wrestling and he does martial arts.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're in Canada,
Well,
definitely
you know,
check
you
out
gotta
his
kind of
school.
narrow it down a little more.
Oh,
than
I think
that.
it's Ontario. It was in Toronto, somewhere near
Okay.
Toronto.
All right, I was going to say, it'd be like
Yeah.
saying, well, if you're in the United States,
Yeah, come check out. You land in New York, you're like, oh, it was in California.
Oh, so you must have almost been kind of like a baby to some of those guys.
Yeah. I came in
Santino
that
was
young.
so much younger, and Elijah's probably got, if he's got a couple of years on me, he's probably got 6 or 7 on you, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah, so you were,
Yeah, Bert, when I got to OVW, he just got on OVW television, and then within a few months, he was well, not a few months, I'll say maybe like a year, he was the OVW champion, Elijah Burt.
was he the OVW champion?
Yeah. Cornette put the title. That's when Cornette was there.
Well, Cornette, I guess, saw what we saw.
Yeah.
Instead of being Sylvester Turkai's flunky as his introduction to
And
WWE.
what happened to Sylvester Turkai? Oh, man.
Whatever happened to Sylvester Turkai? Did you train with him at all?
No, I did not. No, I did not train with him, no.
I couldn't think of anything Sylvester Turkai has done.
He had a cool jacket.
Yeah, they had those little, and Elijah kind of kept the colors,
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Sylvester was trying to hawk his on eBay as ring one gear or something. I don't know what happened to the guy. He had great size. You'd think he was being groomed as someone or something important. I remember down the street in Worcester, Massachusetts it was September of 06, because it was the month I got engaged. He worked a squash match on SmackDown and put him over. Viking Raider Ivar.
Oh,
as
really?
Todd Hansen, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you go back, I don't know if it's on WWE Network, because I
Probably
know
on
not
YouTube.
everything's loaded on Peacock as of yet, but I think it was the second week in September of 2006 on SmackDown. He put over Turkai, and I guess Vince was very, very happy with him as he put Todd over when he came back through the curtain, thanking him for making Turkai look so
good.
good. And to me, the whole act with Turkai was Burke I don't know if Burke was his manager or his coach or whatever it was, but you could tell Burke had something. And to me, Trakai, other than his size, had absolutely nothing. One man's opinion. I don't know. What did you? Were you?
Trakai, yeah, Elijah kind of. I don't want to say he stole the spotlight, but Elijah Burke, he just shined. He shined through the position he was given, and he became the what's he call it? The face of ECW, the new face. What's it called? They had the new breed, and then they had
the new breed. Yeah.
No. No, they had two different
new
divisions.
breed. Was that WCW?
Was it
New breed?
ECW? Yeah. Remember that
Was
WrestleMania?
ECW? I remember. Yeah, the originals versus the
new breed. It's probably called the new breed.
Maybe it was the new breed.
Yeah, he was the face of the new breed. Yeah. And
that was such a sad. We're going to get there as the time frame goes on, but that ECW was just so sad. I mean, that'd be like, I know you're not much of a baseball guy, but that'd be like trying to resurrect the Montreal Expos.
Oh, wow.
In 2021. What's your favorite sport?
Besides wrestling?
I like
probably boxing, maybe.
Do you like any team sports? Really? Nothing? Not a hoops guy? Not a football? I know you don't like baseball.
I never got into sports.
You were just a wrestler.
I thought it was just extra stress. I see how my family members would just like lose their mind when their team would lose, and they're all stressful. Like, I can't believe he didn't pass the ball. Like, relax. They didn't cut promos. You know, I didn't get sold on unless it was the playoffs. I didn't really get sold on it. It was like it was just a game.
Are you a UFC guy?
I'll watch a good UFC fight. You know, if
so you're kind of like me then.
Yeah.
Very casual.
Yeah.
If you've never been though, it's almost like going to MSG for wrestling. Seeing a UFC fight in Vegas in person is really cool. We went to the one, Cormier against, people are going to laugh at me, but the Russian guy, when Lesnar did the run-in after it was over, which I thought was...
Oh, you were there for that?
Yeah, that was really good. I think it was their version of WrestleMania. They call it Fight Week.
Okay.
So they did a Hall of Fame where Rousey was inducted, and I knew virtually no one else. There was a fan fest, and I actually got to meet Chuck Liddell, who would be one of the few
Chuck
that
Liddell's
I know.
a very cool guy. Yeah.
Really nice guy. Really nice guy.
A few times in LA.
Yeah. I actually took a picture, and I'm not really a picture guy, but I took a picture with him. But it's as a very, very casual fan, it was really a lot of fun to go to that fight week in Vegas.
Nice.
So if you ever get the chance, you or anybody watching at home, I think it's called T-Mobile Arena in Vegas,
yes,
their arena.
yeah.
Check out a UFC fight. I don't think it's cheap. I remember they did one in Boston. Oh, and can I get angry for a minute?
You get 2 minutes if you want. Yeah.
You know, he didn't even drop the title. But the first time UFC came to Boston would have been, I think, 2010. And it was a really big deal because it was the first time. You know, the tickets for like lower loge were going for like $600 or $700.
Oh my God.
I worked as a commercial account executive for Comcast at the time, not too far from here, and I got 3 comps. You know, I could have sold those for decent money.
Yeah.
We brought someone that was one of our champions at the time, and we wound up. He was part of the faction. We were lucky enough to have John Bradshaw Layfield involved with our organization while he was Intercontinental Champion.
Oh, okay.
So as part of our first Holiday Headlocks endeavor for the Paul Bearer Toy Drive, Ron Simmons was here in this fine studio. And I said, wouldn't it be great if his faction members, JBL's faction members, came down to join him? But because the excuse was Sunday was the day independent wrestlers spent with their girlfriends, they didn't come. And I was
I didn't know about this.
quite spirited about it online. And to their credit, 2 of them took it like champs. One of them is one of the top stars in the industry right now. So I tip my cap to him. Another is still active with us in the company, but 2 took it like crybabies. Came to the event we had a couple of weeks later, and supposedly told me he wasn't coming back, even though he was the television champion of 4 years, where a lot of great talent had put him over, like Carlito, Uncle Al, Jay Lethal was who he won it from. You know, so there was quite an investment in this talent. And he got the comp ticket to the UFC fight, and then he wouldn't drop the belt. And he claimed, if he told me he wasn't coming back, could you envision a scenario where we wouldn't have had a match where the title was removed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I call it bullshit.
Okay.
All right, well, Maybe you call it bullshit too. But one thing that's not bullshit, baby, look at what Kofi Kingston's going to show you. Coming up now. Wrestling fans, welcome back to this Halloween edition of Wrestling Insider Special Edition. As we prepare for the big one, Saturday night, November the 13th, there's going to be a lot of treats going on, and you never know. With the uprising faction, there could be a lot of tricks, as you've seen on some of the lead-in. We have a lot of scumbags in the Millennium Wrestling Federation, a lot of people that pull off dastardly deeds inside the squared circle, but I'm ready to see you make your in-ring Boston Wrestling MWF debut.
I can't wait to hit the Memorial
Hall.
I'm excited about it, yes.
RMSG.
Your
MSG.
MSG.
Little smaller.
A little smaller, but it's okay.
Beautiful venue on the inside. And as we,
And I heard the crowd is going to get hot. The crowd gets hot.
They have to have people stand on the roof so it doesn't blow off. That's how hot the action is.
That's how we're going to blow the roof off, huh?
But as crazy as it is to say, we're kind of approaching 2022. With that comes our marquee event, Soul Survivor 10.
Ooh.
I know our championship is going to be kind of reintroduced as not the MWF, but the Boston Wrestling Sports MWF Heavyweight Championship. There's going to be quite a competition put together that has been talked about behind the scenes.
A tournament style? You doing a tournament?
I hate tournaments.
You hate tournaments?
Okay. I'm not a tournament guy.
So you hated King of the Ring,
And
huh?
I hate Yeah.
You hated King of the Ring?
Yeah.
I love King of the Ring.
What did you like about King of the Ring?
I guess I loved it because Bret Hart, that's how I was introduced to it. He won the first one, and I just saw.
No, he didn't, though.
He didn't? Oh, no, he did not. That's, okay, the new generation King of the Ring. I'm sorry.
The first pay-per-view one.
Yes, the first pay-per-view one.
For the fans that don't know, the first two King of the Ring tournaments took place at the home of the New England Patriots before they tore the stadium down in Foxborough, Massachusetts. They were large, almost house shows put together by a man named Eddie Andelman, who was the top sports talk radio personality in Boston. Then after that, in 85 and 86, they moved it to a September house show in Providence.
Okay.
So Bret was actually a two-time King of the Ring. I believe he won it in 91 in Providence.
Oh, wow. That's why I love coming here chopping it up with Dan.
So
Learn something
new. You didn't
new.
even know that. Now, I'm going to get it wrong, but there was 1 year they skipped from 85 to 93 when it went on pay-per-view. The first two were in Providence. Morocco and Harley Race were the first two Kings of the Ring. And Harley actually took it.
So Harley Race was in the tournament and won?
He actually won it, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then they used it on TV.
Okay.
Morocco won the first one, and they never did anything with it.
Okay, so question. King Haku, how did he become king?
Tama left when they were the Islanders.
So you just
Harley Race did one of the first table spots in WWF history and destroyed his intestines. So because they were both part of the Bobby Heenan family, I guess
he passed the throne?
He kind of, he was on the disabled list, so to speak, and they had nothing for Haku without Tama, so they named him king, and then Harley came back, and even though he was already the king, they had the Battles of the King at Royal Rumble 89, which was Harley Race's swan song in WWF at that time, and Haku remained king. Even though one of Howard Finkel's only screw-ups that I can remember in all the years of watching WWF, I imagine it's edited on WWE Network, but if you can ever find an original version of WrestleMania 5, when Haku was coming down, when all the guys carrying the gimmick, they introduced him as King Tonga, which is what he was known as in probably 85?
That was a slip.
85-ish?
I wonder if he got chewed out for that.
I don't know, but honestly,
nowadays you'll get fired for that. So imagine if they fired Howard Finkel back then. We would have gotten the classics, the one of the greatest announcers of all time because of that one.
Over one slip of the tongue. And I tell you, that whole introduction to that show is a disaster because, I don't know if you remember, Rockin' Robin is the women's champion, Jake the Snake's sister.
Yeah, I did. I just found out about on Dark Side of the Ring.
You didn't know they were related?
I had no clue.
Oh, well, see, Dark Side of the Ring was good for that. Yeah. As opposed to the dark side that our good friend Annie in Boston likes. But they didn't have a women's title match, so they had her sing the national anthem. but there was something wrong with the acoustics and the music in the building, and she couldn't hear the background music. So she was singing the national anthem.
Off cue? Oh.
And then they went from that to, from the Isle of Tonga, weighing in at 275 pounds, King Tonga.
Oh, Vincent there. Oh, my God.
So the first few minutes of WrestleMania 5 were just a little crazy for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And it was a lot. Those two Atlantic City WrestleManias went, Now, did Ma G bring in either of those? That wasn't too far away.
No, I don't think she went to Atlantic City. No.
She just MSG.
Just MSG, yep.
SummerSlam 88.
You know what? 88, I believe we tried to get tickets. That was when,
sold out quick.
that's when Macho Man and Elizabeth.
The Mega Powers met the Mega Bucks.
Was the one with Elizabeth and Macho Man? Would they get married?
Hulk. No, that was 91.
That was 91?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 88.
88 was the Hogan and Macho against Andre and DiBiase with Jesse as the
Oh,
referee.
okay, yes. Yeah, I remember she tried to get, but yeah, so it was sold out. And then I also remember going to MSG, going to Ticketmaster, and she was like, all right, we're going to get the ticket. I was so excited. And then we got to the window, it was sold out. And I'm like, did we get the tickets? Are we front row? Like, I wanted front row so bad.
Front row? You couldn't even get in the building.
I couldn't even get in the building, so we didn't have cable at the time, but I remember going by my uncle's house to watch the pay-per-view. I mean, it was the best that she was like, I can't get us in the building, but at least.
They didn't offer cable, or you just didn't have it?
I don't think we had in that because the cable companies worked in different sections. I don't think they came to our section of the neighborhood yet, so we didn't have cable. So we went to my uncle's house, and she paid for the pay-per-view so we could watch.
We had the same problem in this city. The first pay-per-view I think we were able to get would have been Great American Bash 1988.
Ooh.
So for the first few WrestleManias when I was a fan as a kid, I had no access to it.
Yeah.
As much as my father hated taking me to the live events, he certainly wasn't taking me to the Garden for the closed circuit version. But he had a friend that lived in a city that had the pay-per-view
and you were
who watched it, and he'd
Did they charge
tape
you?
it.
Oh, he taped it
No,
for you?
he was a friend, so he'd give my father the tape the next day. And then I'm like, ooh, I'd be at school all day
can't wait to
see
get home.
WrestleMania, whatever it might have been. But, the good old days when you...
And they didn't have spoilers back then,
Right.
They didn't have...
Back in the good old days when you looked forward to the shows, the 4 big pay-per-view events, as opposed to nowadays when it's...
Every 12?
It's just another night.
We went from 4 pay-per-views to 12. Sometimes two a month.
And you
less is more. We talked about that earlier.
Absolutely. And you talk about false advertising. Macho Man trying to push Elizabeth wearing the itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny polka dot bikini to try and distract DiBiase and Andre.
Oh, yeah. Like, really?
And then for the finish, she gets up on the apron, and she had on like a granny bathing suit. There was no itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny anything.
We weren't in that era yet. That wasn't the Attitude Era
But
yet.
still, DiBiase...
He sold it like...
He sold it. It was like that. I never saw the match, but it was a joke at one of the house shows that Owen Hart, I guess, hit Mick Foley with a giant bag of popcorn, and Foley sold it like he was in one of those landmine matches in Japan. DiBiase selling that bikini like that.
She was
as a
naked.
Kid, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, that's not a bikini. She's, she's covered from breast down to almost her mid-thigh. But I guess Macho, at least he let her out of the closet. So that was,
man. I was hoping that was just a rumor, but no.
No. And then do you think Lanny should have had his own closet?
Woo, that's a good one. Oh, shoot from the hip.
That's quite a skill to have.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not limber enough to pull that off. I don't know about you.
Woo, Lanny, the genius.
Lanny was originally going to be with us at Back to the 80s WrestleFest.
Oh, what happened?
He moved to Ecuador.
What?
He's left the country.
Why?
That I don't know. Maybe a more private beach space for him to do his service.
Do his thing? Okay.
His servicing.
Well, he's a genius, so he's
5
steps ahead of us. Yeah.
He said he was never alone during quarantine time. He pulled it off great. But luckily, with the great staff we have here, we're able to pull off an all-star lineup of 80s legends that are going to be with us, along with modern superstars such as yourself.
Yeah, I'm not from the 80s. Well, I am from the 80s.
You were
I was born in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will be there.
It's going to be a hell of a night. I can't wait to see the in-ring debut of JTG and Boston Wrestling at our home of Memorial Hall. Not in one of the B cities, the A city, the Garden for us.
I can't wait.
But back to what we were talking about, your actual career. You know, when you'd go back to New York, what was a normal life like for you? Would you tell your friends about what you were doing on the weekends? Or it must have been hard to maintain a lot of friendships when half your week was on a bus.
I know, right? They were very supportive there because they were wrestling fans too, but it was still out of their, like, to become a WWE superstar. It was kind of like, their mind was like, really? Like, well, go for it. We'll support you. And then I remember when I actually did make it, I know there was like, when I called my the one who did my theme song that I come out to now, I remember calling him. I'm like, yo, I just got signed. He was, stop playing with me. You did it? You actually did that? You act like he was like still like his mind was like, I don't believe you, man. You serious? I'm like, yeah, I just got the call. And he was like, so all those matches we had in the hallway in the apartment building, it paid off. Congratulations, man. You did it. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And he was rapping at the time, and I was like, we were so close. He did my theme song that I come out to now.
I can't wait to hear it.
Oh yeah. You're gonna hear it at the Memorial Hall with everybody else on.
It's that roof.
November.
We're trying to, it's almost like the Titanic. We're trying to, you know,
hold it down.
Holding the roof down, baby. I feel the same way about how your friend described about Todd, Viking Raider Ivar. There is a guy. I helped him get a job where Linda Marotti and I worked when he was a much younger version of himself. He would help me babysit the older of the two when we'd go on. Boy, did he get to go on some adventures with me and Todd back in the day. But just how overwhelmingly proud I am. The fact that, you know, WrestleMania week I'm in Tampa, and I see an action figure of someone that was in this studio, like I mentioned before, every Sunday, working on his promos, hanging out here. And I tell you, I had such a great idea for a program with him and Kofi when they signed Kofi.
What was that? What was that program?
06.
06?
No, they were going to feud with each other.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Here, you could do that here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know,
they got signed.
Believe it or not, Kofi thought it was better for his career to go to WWE than remain with us. I was a little insulted, but you know what? It kind of worked out.
I think you made the wrong decision, Kofi. You don't know what could have happened here.
You know what? I'll put you on the spot right now.
What's up?
Should they have closed WrestleMania 35 with him?
Opposed to Ronda Rousey
Yes.
and Becky Lynch?
That nobody cared about in Charlotte in the three-way match.
People cared about
politically correct. No.
I think they cared about it.
No.
But it should have.
No. I was in the friends. I hate to. Sometimes I shouldn't say these things, but I was in the friends and family section.
Okay.
And I remember.
I was front row. I was there.
I know.
Oh yeah.
You're over already, brother.
Yeah, I'm over.
Help I can get. You got the beard gear. You got the strawberry lemonade. You get your career on national television. You don't need it. I'm dilapidated and in my 40s. I need as much help as I can get. But I just remember leaving in the elevator, and everybody was quiet. And I've been to, between my long 9 months that I worked with Ed Cohen in WWE and all of the ones I've been to in general, probably 15 or so WrestleManias.
Yeah.
And it was the only time everybody was quiet when they were leaving.
Yeah.
They just didn't. It was almost like they weren't ready for the show to be over, and they didn't particularly, not that they disliked what they saw, but the crowd really wasn't rambunctious.
And not to add insult to injury, I can't remember. Who won that triple threat match again? I know it wasn't Ron. Becky?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No disrespect to Becky. I love Becky's in-work, but I just didn't remember.
She's very solid. She's very solid.
Yeah.
But
I think the most memorable thing that night was definitely Kofi. I think that definitely should have closed the show.
Was it WrestleMania main event worthy? No. And I will argue that
they were going through their
moment.
women's wrestling. They wanted to prove that woman main event, and it, you know.
Even though when they started to push the women, Raw was at $3.5 million each week, and now it's at less than half of that. At least they can say, we were PC. We had the first female WrestleMania main event. And then 2 years later, even though it was a two-night show, we had the first female main event with all black women in it main event, even though nobody cared, and Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre kicked ass in the opening match. Yeah. Nothing again, and Sasha was with us too, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm not
Oh, Sasha came?
She's a Boston girl.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah. What do they call it? Boston. Yeah, she's from Boston.
She used to sell sneakers at the Cambridge Side Galleria Mall, if you know where that is.
Wow.
Yeah.
She worked at Foot Locker or something?
I don't remember. It might have been.
Might have been?
I remember she sold shoes out of the mall.
Oh, wow.
And she came such a long way. I remember she did an angle with Awesome Kong once with us, which was kind of a interesting dynamic, because you know what a little thing Mercedes to us, but Sasha is, and she's very close with John Cena Sr., but not to say there was anything wrong with her and Bianca. I thought they had a fine match, but to me, it's just not the main event of WrestleMania. And I think when you try and shove that down people's throats, it turns people away.
And what was the main event for the second night? I'm trying to remember.
Roman.
Oh, yeah, Roman, the triple threat.
That was really good,
that was a
too.
good match, the triple threat, yep.
The reason I think that one was so good, out of both nights, that was the only time the kid got out of his chair and was really clapping and chanting and into it. You know what I mean? He really enjoyed it, both nights.
Yeah.
But he was actually, during the triple threat with Roman, Edge, and Bryan, was up, standing and cheering. He really wanted Edge.
How did he enjoy that Bray Wyatt match?
I think he was as confused as I was.
Okay. What was it? It was Bray Wyatt. versus Randy. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh my God.
I still don't know what happened. Yeah.
And Bray is still yet. I don't know by the time this airs. Maybe if he'll be a Halloween surprise. I think they lit that poor man's career on fire when Randy burned him at TLC last year. That was the hottest gimmick in wrestling. It was the most over thing in WWE.
Both gimmicks.
It was selling. No, I hate Mr. Rogers, Bray Wyatt. Oh.
You know, no, we're talking about when he was with the group.
Oh, when he was Waylon Mercy.
Yeah,
Bray
I
Wyatt.
love that gimmick.
I thought you were talking about.
No.
When he does that Mr. Rogers routine, I think it hurts him. Honestly, I think it. Yeah. Hi, kids, and then the little puppets and please.
Yeah.
But Fiend Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
Over as.
Yes, we know.
And then, but to light him on fire like that, and I don't know what's happened since with him, but I mean, when you move as much merchandise as Fiend was moving, you don't have him play second fiddle.
Do you think he has heat backstage or somebody?
I don't know.
Had it out for him? Or somebody has it out for his dad and they're taking it out on his son?
Maybe the IRS is after him. I don't know. Maybe he owes taxes. And I tell you this, to talk about the family. Oh, thank you. Was that the official closing, Howard? Yes. All right, thank you. Bo Dallas, mother of God. They gave him every goofy gimmick on TV. You know, believe, and then the social outcasts, and then B team. Yeah. Go. Shit you'd never want to see as a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
But if you went to a non-televised event, a house show, super show, WWE Live, whatever you call it, him and Apollo Crews always stood out to me as two guys that had so much that they never get to show on television. Bo Dallas was so crisp, so solid, so good. I mean, I don't know if he's a guy that's going to main event pay-per-views for you, but could he have been elevated in a serious fashion to a guy that's setting the pivot, setting the pick for the guys that are going to be in the pay-per-view main events? Absolutely.
Okay.
Did they miss the boat on Bo Dallas? I mean,
maybe a second run.
As far as his in-ring work goes, I think better than Bray.
Really?
I'm not saying gimmick. I'm talking about the actual in-ring work.
Okay.
When the cameras weren't on and he was allowed to actually go out there and have wrestling matches, I think it was better than Bray.
I think he'll be back. He'll probably go get his body right, get his mind right, and he'll be probably be right back.
Well, as quote unquote, he's living all right because look at who he's living with.
Who's he living with?
Liv.
Oh, spill the tea, Dad. Spill the tea. I didn't know that.
He's living the good life. All right, folks, we're getting ready to wrap up. You know, Bo's always got a treat going, whether it's Halloween, and that's no trick. I don't know when we're going to see the Fiend again, but it would be apropos to be around Halloween time if we haven't seen him yet.
Yes, I would love to see the Fiend back in action.
But I'm telling you this, if you're looking to give your loved one, your friends, family members, a great gift for Halloween, nothing would be better than all-inclusive VIP or tickets to our big live event, our 20th anniversary, back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday night, November the 13th, from the historic Memorial Hall, 2 blocks down the street that way, on Main Street, Melrose, Massachusetts, in the zip code of Champions 02176. We're going to have the VIP exclusive question and answer session. We're going to have the Autograph Photo Fan Fest. We're going to have action galore inside the squared circle with the superstars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow coming together at one time. Again, so many combustible elements, the autograph and photo fan fest, the in-ring wrestling, the toy drive efforts we're going to do for
Garden
Paul
Action.
Bearer, the in-ring debut of Mr. Home Shopping Channel himself. Are you going to have any of the goods?
We'll see. I'm gonna see if I can pack an extra bag. You know, I got a lot of
mean,
stuff.
If the fans buy some of that strawberry lemonade,
Ooh.
Memorial Hall could turn into an orgy in the middle of the show.
Wow. With the T-Moss too.
We might need to get some extra police officers on hand. I don't know.
You got T-Moss for the libido and the testosterone, and you're smelling good. It's like, ooh.
Oh, you take them
never
on
know.
over to Kowloon afterwards, my God.
Will it still be open? I really wanted to make it this trip, but I couldn't do it.
It is.
Is it gonna be open?
Yep.
In November?
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of years before it closes down.
Oh, then yeah.
They have to go
We'll
through
be at
so
Kowloon's.
many permits and construction and
Okay.
all those types of things.
I will be in Calhoun.
They might even use one of those boats they have hanging from the ceiling.
After party at Kowloon's, November 13th.
Yeah, well, no autographs and photos, though. It's a Kowloon rule. All right, for JTG, I'm Dan Marati. We'll see you next week on Wrestling Insider Special Edition. Happy Halloween. Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th Anniversary Bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, as we go back to the 90s. You'll see and meet two-time WWE World Champion and Hall of Famer Bob Backlund, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Doctor of Styles Slick, the Berzerker, Doink The Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese and Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya, plus two-time Impact World Champion diehard Eddie Edwards, JTG of Cryme Time, Cena Sr., Oscar of Men on a Mission, and AEW's Jura Joel for a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autograph photo fan fest, live in-ring wrestling with the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, plus the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a night of memories that'll last a lifetime, November the 13th, at an event 20 years in the making.